Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's DAF, GITTEN Vav. We begin at the third line from the top of the Amud Tana Rabbanan. We have learned in a Brisa, a halacha which is very similar to yesterday's Sugya, yesterday's Mishnah. Harei Gittach, look, here's your get. Hamanas sheteshamshi es abba shteishanim, on condition that you serve my father for 2 years. V'hamanas shetaniki es bni shteishanim, or on condition that you nurse my baby for the next 2 years. Even if she has not fulfilled her end of the deal. Harei a get. The get takes effect. We ignore the condition. Why? Because he only said it in singular fashion. He only said it one way. He didn't duplicate. He didn't double it. He didn't do the Tanai Kafel, like we discussed yesterday, which is required according to Rabbi Meir. So why is it a get? Lefi shaloi amar la im teshamshi. If you serve him, it's a get. And then the flip side, im lo teshamshi, then it's not a get. He didn't say that. He only said the positive. That's not enough. And that condition is not binding. He didn't say im taniki, vim lo taniki. Therefore, she's not obligated. And the get goes through regardless. Divrei Rabbi Meir, it's Ramei Shita, because we learn from the episode in the Chumash of Bnei Gad and Bnei Ruvain, who wanted to earn their territory across the Jordan. Moshe Rabbeinu stipulated a Tanai: if you come join your brethren in warfare, you'll get that territory. If not, you will not. So you have to stipulate it both ways. Otherwise, it's not binding. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion concerning conditions. Chachamim disagree. They don't require that duplication. In this case, if the condition was fulfilled, she served, she nursed, harei a get, she has the get. Vim lav, otherwise ain't a get. Here comes a third shita. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, ein lecha tanai b'ksuvim she'enei kafel. If you take a close look at the various conditions, episodes involving conditions discussed in the Ksuvim, in Bereshis, in Bamidbar, and Yeshaya. In Bereshis you have Avram Avinu sending Eliezer, look, if you can find somebody for my family, okay, otherwise you're free from your obligation. You have Saita, did you do something wrong? Did you do not do something wrong? We have in Yeshaya, Rashi brings as well. So wherever we look, we always find a double Tanai, a duplicate Tanai. Ein lecha Tanai b'ksuvim she'enei kafel. End of quote. Now, what point was he making? Who was he addressing? Rabbi Meir, who requires Tanai kafel, or was he responding to the Rabbanan who did not require? So we have a difference of opinion. Some say Rabbi Meir ka'amalei. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel was responding to Rabbi Meir. And others learn, actually, the Rabbanan ka'amar. Luhu. He was responding to the Rabbanan. Explanation. Some say this was in response to Rabbi Meir's presentation. You need a Tanai kafel, right? Comes Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, and he tells him like this. But you should know that you're so right that the Tanaim and the Torah are always duplicated. It's repetitively duplicated, meaning wherever we find a Tanai, the Torah troubles itself, so to speak, to bring out the Tanai kafel. Ein lecha Tanai b'ksuvim she'enei kafel. So you would think that helps us. No, actually, to the contrary. We know that when we have a concept or a halacha repeated once and again in the Torah, that's the biggest indication that we're not meant to apply that concept elsewhere. Otherwise, the Torah wouldn't have to say it once and again. Once would be enough. Okay, Tanai kafel once. And now we know it. Tanai has to be kafel. Why repeat it in Bereshis and Bamidbar and it's like having two psukim saying the same exact thing, teaching us the same halacha, and what happens then? We can't learn from there and apply it elsewhere. So we no longer have a source that every Tanai that one makes has to be a Tanai Kafel. So he's disagreeing with Reb Meir. Ikad Amri, others learn, the Rabbanan Kamarlu. Actually, he was responding to Rabbanan, who don't require a Tanai Kafel by the get. V'achi Kamarlu. And this is what he was saying to them. You know, wherever we look in the Psukim, it's always a Tanai Kafel v'gamrina minau, and actually we can learn from there. From all those places. And Rashi explains because the Gemara Kedushin of Samach Aleph actually justifies why the Torah had to repeat the same concept repeatedly. So bottom line is, it does serve as a proper proof, as a good source, that every Tanai has to be Tanai Kafel. V'raminu, now we're going to have a kasha from a price. Here's your get. Serve my father for 2 years. Serve my nurse my kid for 2 years. Mesa Av or Mesa Ben. Father passed away before 2 years. Son passed away within 2 years. Ain't no get. There's no get because she hadn't fulfilled her end of the deal. Divrei Reb Meir. And even though there was no Tanai Kafel, that's going to be the kasha. He didn't duplicate his Tanai, so why is it binding? Question. Okay. Chacham respond by saying, look, even if she didn't fulfill her Tanai, she didn't nurse for 2 years straight, it does not interfere with a get taking effect. Why? She can get up and say, look, I'm ready, I'm committed, I'm here. Where's your father? I'll serve him. Where's your son? I'll nurse him. Okay, so even if she doesn't actually carry out her deal, her commitment, the get goes through. So we have a seemingly double contradiction here. Kasha de Rameir, ad Rameir. We have a kasha between this Rameir and this Brisa. Who obligates her, even though there was no Tanai Kafel with Rameir in the previous Brisa? Then unless it's a Tanai Kafel, it's worthless. That's one kasha. Likewise, kasha de Rabbanan, ad Rabbanan. Here the Rabbanan say she's off the hook, and previously the Rabbanan say she has to keep her word. Answers the Gemara. Both can be reconciled. The Reb Meir, the Reb Meir kasha. We can answer the apparent stira in Reb Meir. Very simple. Hasam b'd'le kafli l'tnai, in the previous brisa on top of the Amid, the Tanai was never activated because he did not duplicate the Tanai, which is a required, element within a Tanai. Hacha b'd'le kafli l'tnai, in the most recent brisa, even though the brisa didn't, express it clearly, but we're speaking that he actually did duplicate it, so it's a valid condition. There goes that question. V'rabbanan d'rabbanan le'kasha. Whereas when it comes to the stira within the Rabbanan, that could be answered as well. Even if it's not a Tanai Kafel, she has to keep to it, as per the previous brisa. In this most recent brisa, we're not speaking that she's backing out. Circumstances are preventing her from carrying out the full deal. Kid's gone, father's gone. Man chachamim dahacha. Who actually are these chachamim? This is the famous Rabban Shimon Gamliel of our Mishnah. He says if she's held back from carrying out this Tanai for reasons beyond her control, such as father passing away or son passing away, it's okay. She's fully committed. She's obligated. She's here. She's ready to serve. So we deem it as though she had fulfilled her Tanai, and that's why the get goes through. Tan Rabbanan, we have learned in another brayz. Amar la b'fnei shnayim hareza gittich. So he turns to his wife in front of two people. Here's your get. Amanasher teshamshes abba beishanim. On condition, you serve my father for 2 years. Okay. V'chazar. Then he comes around and he adds more conditions. V'amar la b'fnei shnayim. And once again he turns to her in front of two Eidim, a different pair of Eidim. Hareza gittich amnas. Shetitnili Masayim says, look, here's your get on condition that you give me 200 zuz. So he's only giving her the get now. So he established two separate systems. The first Tanai was serving father for 2 years, and now comes a new Tanai. I want 200 zuz. we say, look, leibitel divrei ha'achronis harishon. He's not adding stipulation upon stipulation. Otherwise, he would have clearly said so. This is in addition to the previous condition. Rather, either or. He meant either or. You have two options. Either you do that or do this. Okay, if she chooses to serve his father in fulfillment of her condition, that works. She can choose to pay him the money instead. So we consider them two separate stipulations. Either or. But in the next case, where he announced in front of two Eidim, you have to give me 200 zuz. And then he turns to another two Eidim and he says, no, let's up it to 300. Here's your get. No, 200 is not enough. He's getting greedy. He wants 300. See, here it's certainly a nullification. He's certainly changing the rules of the game because he changed the number. So bitel divrei ha'achronis harishon. So the last declaration undoes the first declaration, and it went up from 2 to 3. Concludes the brisa. Ve'ein echad min harishonim ve'echad min achronim mitzdarfen. You can't bring, let's say there were two pairs of Eidim, right? First announcement was in front of Reuven and Shimon. Second announcement in front of Levi and Yehuda. So, suppose we have Reuven and Yehuda, two separate sets of Eidim, one of each coming to testify that there was a condition here. They can't combine. Now, we had two cases discussed in this brisa. Right? Number one, where he stipulated two separate types of conditions, and we give it the option, right? And case 2 was where he changed his amount from 2 to 300. So 200 is sort of cancelled, and 300 stands. Now, when we speak about combining one aid from this set and one aid from this set, it's referring to the most recent case where initially he said 200 in front of the first set, and then he switched to 300 in front of the second set. Of course, you can't combine the two pairs. Hari batal, the first condition is null and void. So what good is listening to Reuven's account of the story? Whatever happened is gone. It's batal. Ella Reisha. We're going back to the first case of the brisa, where ultimately both conditions can theoretically, work. She just has to choose and decide which one to fulfill. So both conditions are still active, so to speak. And we say, no, but 1 second, you cannot combine Reuven and Yehuda. One from the first pair of Eidim, one from the second pair of Eidim, because each one has a different story to tell. Each one is going to testify about a different condition, right? So they can't join forces. Well, Pshita says, isn't that obvious? Of course. Perhaps I would say no. Listen to this. A very deep concept. Perhaps the fact is that they both have a common denominator. They're both telling us that there's a t'nai to be fulfilled for the get to be active. So perhaps you can combine them, you can join them. They're both saying pretty much the same thing. The get is dependent upon fulfillment of something. So Reuven is speaking about the Shamshi's Abba, what he knows about, and Yehuda will speak about the fact that she can also choose to give the $200. But they have something in common. They're both stipulating that there was a stipulation stipulated in order to activate this get. So perhaps they can join forces. They're both sending the same message. Kamashman the Chiddush is no. Because in terms of concept, you're right, but in terms of content, there are different pages. So of course you can't join them together. Okay, let's recap this Amud before we continue into the next sugya. We discussed various shittas regarding the requirement of Tanai Kofel, and now we discussed two variations of a fellow who stipulated one Tanai and came around and sort of modified it. In one instance we say both options still stand and are available. In the second case we say no. The second version undoes the first version. Says the Mishnah. So he turns to his wife, Hareza Gittach, here's your get. Imlei basi mikan ashleishim yom. The get will take effect if I don't return within 30 days. So he's off on a trip. He tells her clearly, I'm going from here, Yehuda, this certain territory in Eretz Yisrael, to Galil in the north of Eretz Yisrael. She knows that. And the way the Mishnah and the Gemara will be understood at this point, until we change it in the actual Gemara later, we figure that the town of Antifras, Higiel Antifras, he came to Antifras, and that's the sort of the border town within Galil. It's the first town within Galil that he's going to bump into when he comes from Yehuda, right? So he sort of arrived at Galil, Higiel Antifras, v'chazar. But immediately he turned around and came back home. He did not wait 30 days. Batal, Tanoi. So his condition, his stipulation is now null and void. He did not keep his Tanai. The get was dependent upon him staying 30 days in Galil. That was his intent. That was his trip. I'm going to Galil. If I don't return within 30 days, the get is going to be active. And he came to Galil at the first point of Galil he reached, Antifras. We're assuming that's the first point in Galil. And he came right back a day later. No get. Batal Tanoi. Okay, and now we're going to have the same story in the other direction. He's going from Galil to Yehuda. He's stationed in Galil. Tells her the same thing. Look, here's your get if I don't return within 30 days. Basically, if I'm gone for 30 days, I'm going to Yehuda. If I stay there for 30 days, you'll have your get. And he's traveling from Galil to Yehuda. And he arrived at the first point within the Yehuda territory, which we're assuming is the first point within Yehuda. But he didn't stay. He didn't stick around for 30 days. The Chazar came right back. Bital Tanai, there goes the Tanai. So the get is not a get. Another similar situation between Eretz Yisrael and Chutz La'aretz. So he's situated in Eretz Yisrael. This get that I'm giving you will happen if I don't return within 30 days. She knew that he was traveling to Chutz La'aretz. He got to the first point of Chutz La'aretz, which is Akoy, but he came right back. Batal Tanai, the Tanai is batal, the get is batal as well. One more halacha. Harei Gittich kol zman she'ever mikeneged panayich shleishim yom. Here's your get, and the get will actually take effect if I'm gone from your present, meaning I'm not with you for the next 30 days. But he didn't do that. He's going and coming and going and coming. Since he didn't actually go into a yichud situation with her, we say the get takes effect. The obvious question, well, he wasn't gone for 30 days? The Gemara will deal with that. In the meantime, let's elaborate on the first part of the Mishnah. Here's your get. If I don't return within 30 days, and he's traveling to Galil, and he got to the first point of Galil, Antifras, and he came right back. So his whole Tanai is null and void, his get never took off. Do you mean to say, Lemema da Antifras beGalil hava? Kaima? Do you mean that Antifras is the first point within Galil? But I mean, we have a brayso which tells us otherwise. It's in the wrong area. Antifras be Yehuda. No, actually, Antifras is in Yehuda territory, not in Galil. Ukvarosnai beGalil. And actually, the other town, which we thought was in Yehuda, Ukvarosnai, no, it's in Galil. Which basically means that if he was traveling from Yehuda to Galil, and he made this Tanai, the Tanai was, once I get to Galil, if I stay there for 30 days, the get that I gave you takes effect. And he traveled and only got to Antifras, which this Brisa says is within Yehuda. So he never left Yehuda. The clock never started ticking. He never got out of Yehuda to get the 30-day clock ticking. Right? And the same thing the other way. If he's traveling from Golo to Yehuda, and he reaches Kfar Sinai, which is the outermost point within Golo. It's not Yehuda, it's within Golo. He never got to Yehuda yet. The clock never started ticking. In time, but let's say he left Golo, but he hadn't really arrived into Yehuda. He's sort of a no man's land. Then we're not sure how to deal with it. Matil nois l'chumra. We go l'chumra on this get. Mugureshes and we treat it as a suffix and whatever. So, but bottom line is, we got our towns wrong. Antifras is within Gol, Kfar Sinai is within Yehuda, which is inconsistent with our Mishnah. Okay? Amar Abai. So Abai is going to come explain the Mishnah in a way that it is consistent with this Brisa, with this territorial description. You're right. Antifras is within Yehuda. Kfar Sinai is within Gol. So what happened? Trei Tanoika Amarla. See, this husband, now Mishnah, actually stipulated two conditions. He was traveling from Yehuda to Gol. That was his itinerary. And he said like this. There are one of two ways that your get will take effect. Number one, Imatina L'Gol. If I actually get to the Gol area, La'alta L'Havigita. Right away the get is a get. Or or even if I don't arrive at Gol, I'm still within the Yehuda area, but if I stay out for 30 days, I stay on the road, I don't return within 30 days, it's another option for the get to take effect. Okay, so he's on the road, leaving Yehuda, but he never really left. He gial Antifras v'chazar. He reaches the most, the outermost point of Yehuda, which is Antifras, which is part of Yehuda, as per this Brisa. Okay, so we're trying to work it out with this Brisa. So he never actually exited Yehuda. So he never fulfilled that first condition of arriving at Gol. He never got to Gol. V'chazar, and he came right back. So did he fulfill any of his conditions? No, none. Not the first, not the second. He never got to Gol, and he never stayed out for 30 days. He gil Antifras v'chazer. The loy legol mat. He never arrived at Gol. V'lo yishtoy nami yishtoy tlosin yamin. Nor did he stay out on the road for 30 days. Batal tonight. There goes the tonight. There goes the get. So it's perfect. Now we're going to have the same discussion, almost word for word, regarding the fellow traveling the other direction. So the Mishnah speaks about a fellow traveling from Gol to Yehuda, and then we have the case of traveling from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, and he reached Akai, which we interpreted as a Chutz La'aretz town, and that's a problem. Do you mean Akai is out of Eretz Yisrael? It's untrue. It's factually untrue. V'harav Safra, v'amar of Safra. Rav Safra used to tell us, when the Talmidim coming from Chutz La'aretz, who would travel to Eretz Yisrael to learn the yeshivas, would go back home, and the Talmidim would escort each other and take leave of each other. Where would they do that? At the outermost point of Eretz Yisrael, but still within Eretz Yisrael proper, because the Bnei Eretz Yisrael are not meant to leave Eretz Yisrael for no reason. Where would they do that? A place which was technically still within the land. Ba'akai have a mifteri. So clearly Akai is within Eretz Yisrael, and you're describing it as outside Eretz Yisrael. So once again, Abaye to the rescue, Amar Abaye. We can learn the Mishnah likewise, that Akai was within Eretz Yisrael, and we'll still understand the Mishnah perfectly. Because really he stipulated a double condition. He was traveling out of Eretz Yisrael, right? From Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, and he said, look, one of two ways. Either I arrive to Medina Sayyam, then the get becomes active. La'alter, immediately, the get takes effect. Or I stay out for 30 days. Or I stay out on the road for 30 days without returning. The get is chal. And what happened? He was traveling and traveling. He never got to Chutz La'aretz. He just got to Akoi, and he came right back. He gil Akoi, which is, of course, within Eretz Yisrael, as we just proved from the story. When he came back home, number one, he didn't get to Chutz La'aretz proper. Nor did he stay out for 30 days. He came right back. But Tanai, there goes the Tanai, there goes the get. In the last case of the Mishnah, we have Hareza Gita Kolzman She'avar. If I'm not with you for 30 days, the get takes effect. And what did he do? He's coming every day. The Mishnah says it works. What do you mean? He hadn't left for 30 days. Amar Rav Huna, my panayich tashmish. When he says, if I'm not with you, Kolzman She'ever Mekeneget Panayich, Shleishim Yom, he meant to say physical interaction, and he used a more dignified term and expression for that. And since in this case he didn't engage in that activity, so he fulfilled his condition. Why is he referring to it as panayich? It's just a dignified way of expressing that. No, let's look at it literally. If I'm not around for 30 days, let the get happen. And he did come back within 30 days, so why does it work? Answer is, it doesn't say it works. Does the Mishnah then say that the get is active and she's divorced? No. Hareza get ktani. All the Mishnah is saying is that the get hasn't lost its ability to be used for divorce. What we mean to say is the fact that they met each other within 30 days does not cancel the get. And as soon as he leaves, sometime in the future, he leaves for 30 days, at that point the get will be applied. Don't they have a get yashin? There's a halacha that if after giving the get, after writing the get, they were in a siyache, they were in seclusion, we don't use that get. It's called a get yashin. We'll see that later in a couple of days, but it's a Hashem Nafayin test. So here, there's no issue of get yashin. You know why? Because the Mishnah says there was no yichud. And of course, the Mishnah just means to say that you can potentially still use the get. I'm not saying that 30 days from today the get is chal. He was here within 30. What I mean to say is that even though he hung around and he came for a visit, the get hasn't lost its validity, and you could still use it if he should decide down the road to disappear for 30 days. We're going to have a brisa which supports this approach to the Mishnah, Rabbi Yechon's approach. Exactly as the Mishnah, right? This is your get if I disappear for 30 days. He's coming back and forth. Since there was no yichud done, here is a get. It can still be used as a get. We're not concerned about this sort of expired get. It's not a get yashan. There was no yichud. So that's all the Mishnah is telling us. Not that it's effective immediately. He has to first disappear for 30 days, but it means to say when he, in fact, does disappear for 30 days, he can use this get because there was no yichud that interferes with the get. But we have another problem, says the Gemara. Perhaps his visits were actually meant for, reconciliation. Maybe he made up with her. Maybe he appeased her. They made up and, maybe there was yichud. Amar Rabba bar Rav Huna Hachi Amar Abba. My father said, Hachi Amar Abba Mari Mishmei de Rav. Why is there no concern of yichud? Because when he made this condition, when he issued the get, he clearly announced. He says, "Look, the ball is in her court. Her word carries the day. She'll say that I was not misyachid, when I was not involved with her. She's believed, and that's what she's saying. So he pretty much gave her that trust, and we can follow that. Okay, so that addresses that concern. Now, this explanation of by Meres Alai, this whole insert, some actually applied this pshat to a different Mishnah, where we had the same issue and we resolved it with this teretz that she's believed. The Mishnah speaks about me'achshav imlei basi. He gives her a get and he says, "Look, it's going to be activated from this point on condition imlei basi mekan If I don't return within 12 months, and that's what happened. He passed away within 12 months. We say, how is a get? The get is applied. Now, 12 months is a long time. Perhaps within those 12 months he showed up, he appeased her, there was yichud. So we have the same issue. Amar Rabba, Baravhuna, Hachi Amar Abamari, the same idea. Mishmei Rabba Imer was speaking that he had previously stipulated that she's to be believed. And in fact, she's telling us loud and clear that it never happened. Now, the same solution here we apply to the case of the Mishnah, where the concern was that perhaps he came back within 12 months, and previously we applied the solution to the case of the Brisa, where we know the fact that he came back within 30 days, but we allayed that concern of any possible yichud because we take her word for it. Now, Manda Maslamas Nisan, the ones who applied the solution to the Mishnah, the 12-month issue, so we sort of had a concern that perhaps there was yichud within those 12 months, and we answered the kasha. Kloshken Brisa, certainly the teretz would have to be applied to the Brisa, where we know that he came back within 30 days, and that got the bells ringing. Perhaps there was an issue of yichud, and we had to answer that she's testifying there wasn't, and she's believed. Manda Masla Brisa, but according to those who apply this solution to the Brisa, so yeah, there we had to answer a question because we know he showed up within 30 days. Who knows what happened? She's believed. Aval Masnissen, but in the case of the Mishnah where he made a Tanai of 12 months, you don't have to worry about yichud halayasa. Who says he came? We don't know that he came. We have no reason, we have no grounds, no basis for concern. So we don't need to address any concerns there. We don't have to apply any solutions to a non-problem. Okay, let's summarize the Mishnah and the Gemara. The way Abai interpreted the Mishnah, so we have part 1 of the Mishnah and part 2. In part 1 we have 3 variations of a very similar situation where he's traveling out and he made a double condition. Look, if I get to that in that place, the get is chal, or if I don't return within 30 days, in all 3 cases he did not keep any of those plans, he came right back, so the get is batal. In the final case of the Mishnah, he says if I'm gone for 30 days, the get happens, and he did come back. So how does it work? We have 2 pshatim. Either there was no physical interaction, and that's what he had in mind, or according to pshat of Rabbi Yehuda, you're right, the get will not be applied right now. There's no get yashan issue because there was no yichud, but of course, in order for the get to be activated, he has to disappear for 30 full days, and then we have the get. Says the Mishnah. Here's your get, and the get will be chal if I don't return within 12 months. And he passed away. Umeis b'soich yudbeis chodesh. Ain't a get. The get doesn't work because you realize he didn't say the key word me'achshav. If I don't come back, the get will happen. So until 12 months, it's sort of pending. It's not again until 12 months. And since at the 12-month point he's no longer alive, he can't give a get. So he can't use his get. But, however, he added the keyword me'achshav. Here's your get. From this moment going forward, it's active. On condition that I don't return within 12 months. And if that happens, the get is applied retroactively from this moment onward. And now he's still alive, you can issue a get. So even though he passed away, it's fully fine. Haray's a get, perfectly valid get. Because the get was activated during his lifetime. What if he says, if I don't return by 12 months, please write a get and issue it to my wife. And what did they do? They jumped the gun. Get, so he wrote it within 12 months, too early. They only issued it after 12 months. It doesn't work, ain't it yet? Because he clearly asked them to wait for the 12-month point. What if he says, here we switched it around a bit. Write and issue a get to my wife. If I don't return within 12 months. And what do they do? Once again, they jumped ahead. They wrote the get within 12. They only gave it to her after 12. Once again, they jumped the gun. It's too early. No, in this case I disagree. Because take a close look at his wording. If he would have wanted them to wait with the writing as well, he would have said so. He would have said, if I don't return within 12, write the get. He didn't say that. He said, write the get. Before he spoke about 12 months. So in this case, he allows them to write it right away. Now, if they followed instructions perfectly, they wrote it after 12. And they issued it then as well. They delivered it to her then as well. But we know that he passed away. So, it all depends what happens first. If the get was delivered before he passed away, she's in luck. Harez a get, it's a proper get. But if he died first, get ain't a get, because he's no longer amongst the living to issue a get. And if there's no kids, so there's yibum, right? But let's say it's an unknown. We don't know what came first. That's a suffix. Zuhi sha'amru, on this they said, migoreshes, ben migoreshes, she's in, she's out. We have to deal with it as a suffix, and of course, if there's a yibum scenario, we do chalitza. Let's go back to the beginning of the Mishnah. Here's your get, and if I don't come back within 12 months, it should be a get. And he passed away within, it's not a get. But if you said me'achshav, it is. Tana, we learned in a brisa. There is an opposing view. Rabbi Yisenu, our Rebbe Zitirali Nase, allowed her to remarry. Even in the first case. So let's say there are no kids, we don't have to worry about Yibum, she's divorced. Why? He didn't say me'achshav and he passed away before the deadline. He can't divorce if he's no longer alive. The answer is we treat it as though he said me'achshav. In which case it's triggered retroactively during his lifetime. Man Rabbi Seinu, who are these Rebbes? Rabbi Damashmo Beidina Dushar Mishcha, this is the famous Bezdin, Mesechus Avodah Zarah, who revoked the Isser of consuming oil from Goyim. It wasn't a Gzera, which was, feasible, which was practical. So they were matir that Isser. So we call them, they got a title, Beidina Dushar Mishcha. And they were matir this get as well. Why? Sabral Rabbi Yossi. It's in line with Rabbi Yossi's shita that we discussed a couple of days ago. The Amar, who says, Zmani shel shtar machiach alav. Whenever there's a date in a document, that's the biggest indication that you want it to happen now. So even though he spoke about 12 months in the future, he wants it to happen me'achshav. Even without saying me'achshav, the Zman acts as me'achshav. Amar Abba Breder Chia bar Abba Rav Yechon. Who was this, Bezdin Shor Mishcha? It was a Bezdin led by Rabbi Yehuda Kessler. This is not Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the Tana. This is Rabbi Yehuda Kessler, the Amira, who was actually a grandson of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the Tana. He was Bnoi Shel Rabbi Gamliel Bar, the son of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the Tana, who compiled the Mishnayos. Hayra. So he was the one who ruled that she can remarry. But his entire group, all his colleagues, did not agree with him. Throughout his lifetime, the other Chachamim did not agree with him. Okay. Amrle Rabbi Lezer. Now Rabbi Lezer, who lived later on, turned Lahu Saba to this elder Chacham who was part of the Bezdin that was Matir, part of that Heter. I'd like to ask you a question. How far did you go? How far was the Heter? Kisha Risua. Again, we're speaking about, here's your get. If I don't come back within 12 months, he passed away within, we say the get is kosher. Question. When you will matir this Isha to marry, Kisha Risua, La Alta Sharisua, immediately, as soon as he passed away 6 months into the deal. Well, he's not coming back within 12 months, so she can marry right away. Fair, right? Or perhaps did you require her to wait for 12 months? And Taisa explains because people might get confused and they'll see you giving her the green light right now, they'll apply it to any Tanai that requires her to wait, and it's going to create confusion. That's my question. Was it an immediate heter or only at the 12-month point? And he explains, La'alta sharisua, the liyasi. Did you allow her to remarry right away? Because he's not coming back. Or shall we say that you had to wait 12 months? Wait, you have to wait for the condition to be fully implemented. He said 12 months. You have to wait 12 months, and as we explained, Taisus explains it should be consistent with other conditions. Asks the Gemara, well, why did he have to go to the Husaba to ask him about how the Bezdin over there was mater, this unique case where he didn't say me'achshav and we treat it as though he did, based on Rabbi Yossi? Why do you have to go that far? He could have asked the same question on our Mishnah. When he did say me'achshav, we have the same question. Me'achshav en le'basi. Mikan v'adilis chodesh. Right? He gave her a get. He says, look, if I don't return within 12 months, the get is chal, but me'achshav, right now. And he passed away. Umeis, b'soich, yud beis chodesh. The Mishnah says there's nothing to talk about. There's no question. How is it get? Of course it works. According to all shittas, he said me'achshav. So we have the same question. Passed away at the 6-month point. Could she go remarry right away, or does she have to wait until 12 months are up? La'alter havi. Is it a get right now? The halay asi, because he's not coming back. So the condition will surely be fulfilled. Or do you have to wait the 12 months, until the condition sort of plays itself out? So why did he have to ask the Saba who was involved in the special heter? The same question is applied to our Mishnah as well. And you're right, he could have done so. He was just trying to get a first-hand, account, because the Saba, the elder Chacham that he was speaking to, was actually present when that Bezdin was mater that case. So he was trying to see firsthand what happened. A Ma'aser Shehaya, which is the biggest, verification of halacha, Ma'aser Shehaya, I want to see exactly what happened. Our Mishnah is more theoretics. This would be the din, right? But there was an actual story, an actual heter, and based on that, I'll figure out whether or not you have to wait. Okay, so that's the end of today's daf. Let's quickly recap. We had a discussion about whether you need a Tanai kafel. We had a discussion about a person switching the Tanaim in his own get. First he makes this Tanai, then that Tanai. In one case we say both options are available. In the other case where it's a question of changing the amount of the payment required, so then it's certainly an upgrade and certainly being mevatel the first Tanai. We had the fellow who was had a travel itinerary. He did not exactly didn't exactly work out for him, so the condition was not fulfilled. We had a discussion about returning within 30 days, but there was no yichud, so she's believed on that. And then our Mishnah, where he passed away within 12 months, but if he says mi'achshav, it works, and even without mi'achshav, there's a zman on the shtar, Rabbi Yehuda were matir, as though there was a mi'achshav, and we had a question, well, is it mutter right now, or we treat it like any other Tanai, we have to wait the 12 months, and we didn't really have a conclusion on that. It's interesting. Rashi is not so mashma that there was an actual story that they were matir. It was just like they took a count, they took a vote, and they were, they concluded on the halacha. So apparently he figured whoever was there really, chances I delved into the topic and can clarify this point as well. Okay, all the best to you and Hatzlacha Rabbah.